Are you currently a member of an OTO local body and feel anxious about how the coronavirus pandemic is going to affect you and your community? Are you worried about plummeting revenues, loss of membership, and whether you're going to make it out the other side of this pandemic with a temple space or even with a community? Then this video is for you. Let's get started. The first thing that you and your community need to do is to come together and to clearly establish what your ultimate purpose is. Why do you do what you do? Especially at a time like the present when there are so many uncertainties and so many dangers and so many things seem up in the air. It's more important than ever to have a sense of the direction of your organization's own North Star. We rarely think about the ultimate reasons that we do what we do. We're mostly focused on the particular kinds of work we do, doing masses well, doing initiations well, doing classes well, fraternities and socials. But now that all of that has been taken off the table, this provides us with a unique opportunity to think about what the ultimate purpose is that those activities serve. And then once we have a very clear idea of what that ultimate purpose is, then it will be possible to come up with new activities to fit that purpose and to ensure that our community stays together through this difficult time. As a religious and spiritual organization, one of our main goals is to bring about positive life change. What is the particular gift that your community has to offer that has brought about positive life change for you and for the people in it? What are the sorts of people who would benefit from that gift? Either because it is something that they lack in their lives, or it is something that would allow them to go on to be even more effective and better than they already are. What has being the recipient of that gift allowed you and your community members to go on to do in your lives that you wouldn't have been able to do before? Once you can answer questions like these, you are very close to being able to clarify what your organization's purpose is. The second thing that you and your community need to do is to make sure that you expand, not contract. You need to remain open and engaged with your broader community. I understand that in stressful times like the present, there's the tendency to want to pull back, to become more introverted and more protective. Instead, I suggest that you use this as a unique opportunity to become expert at developing your community through social media. Too often, I see OTO local bodies using social media simply as a billboard to advertise their local in-person events. This is not the purpose that social media was created for. Social media was created so that people could socialize. Go figure. If you want to see an example of one of the few OTO local bodies that is able to project its unique identity across social media, check out Alumbrados down in New Orleans. They have a very unique visual style which is able to communicate what their community is about. If you want to see another example of this, check out my lodge, Horizon, up in Seattle. We have a completely different aesthetic and a completely different approach from Alumbrados. Yet it is just as authentic. You might very well come out the other side of this pandemic without a temple space. You might come out the other side of this with far fewer members and far less revenue than you had going in. But your temple space and your money are nowhere near as powerful and nowhere near as important an asset as your people and the higher purpose which motivates them You could lose your temple and you could lose your money, and yet you could still come out the other side of this more powerful than you were when you went into it, if you learn how to build and strengthen your community. And you can end up on the other side of this in a position which is strong enough to recover and to become more successful than you were even at the start of this. Third, focus on giving, not on getting. Again, I understand that it's very tempting right now to focus on our own needs. How are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to keep our temple space? How are we going to keep people together? How are we going to do these things? Remember, your strength as a community does not come from anything material that you give or that you get. It comes from the positive life change that you bring to other people. Focus on finding ways to do that under these new, changed circumstances. Pick a few simple activities and learn to do them extremely well. When you offer a class, for example, that is really well put together, you're not just communicating the content of that class. You're also communicating to your audience that you deeply care and take pride in what you're doing. You're showing that you are committed to a higher value. Communicating that is just as important, if not more important, than what you are communicating in that class. The same thing goes for online rituals or any other online event you put together. Take pride in your work. This doesn't mean that everything has to be perfect at first. Especially if you're not used to doing events online, there are going to be a lot of stumbling and a lot of hiccups at first. Give yourself permission to start messy, but then make a commitment that tomorrow you're going to do a little bit better than you did today. And next week you're going to do a little bit better than that. Don't try to outcompete other lodges. Just work on competing against yourself. Become a better version of yourself week after week after week. Also, try to avoid the temptation to start charging or charging a lot of money for online content. Instead, I would encourage you to put out as much material as you can free of charge. And then at the end of each class or each ritual, thank people for coming and for giving you the opportunity to connect with them, and offer them the opportunity to give you a donation. Don't make money the main thing. Maintain a focus on giving your gift. Give people the opportunity to reward you for giving that gift, and odds are high that they will. This will also help you and your community avoid stressing out over trying to hit particular monetary marks. Remember, you can lose your physical space. You can lose all the money in your bank account. But if you stress out your people and you lose them, you've lost your most important asset. That's the source of your power, not money and not a temple space. So you need to remain focused on giving and amplifying that gift. In this video, I've given you 3 different principles that you can apply in your OTO community to help weather the coronavirus crisis. Please let me know in comments below what you're doing in your own community right now. Let me know what strategies have worked for you. Let's all make a commitment to learn together and to learn from one another so that we can come out the other side of this stronger Thelemites, stronger OTO members, and stronger individuals. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to talking to you next time.